On today's show, we'll discuss the Comedy Warehouse at Walt Disney World's Pleasure Island and Disney legend Al Dempster. It's July 23rd, and it's time for Today in Disney History.
I only hope that we never lose sight of one thing, that it was all started by a mouse.
Today in Disney history, in 1911, Disney background artist and Disney legend Al Dempster is born in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Starting in 1939, Dempster worked on such classics as Fantasia, Dumbo, and Song of the South. Later, Dempster went on to illustrate more than a dozen Disney Golden Books. It is only in more recent years, with the increased study of the animation art form, that the skill of the background artist has been celebrated. Far more than a simple backdrop for character action, a good background involves the combination of several talents: staging, color styling, and lighting. Disney has had several superstar background artists: Sam Armstrong, Maurice Noble, Claude Coates, Thelma Whitmer, Ivan Earle, Frank Armitage, and Al Dempster. Albert Taylor Dempster was born on July 23, 1911 in Atlantic City. He studied for 4.5 years at the Art Center School in downtown Los Angeles shortly after that institution's founding. Al joined the staff of the Walt Disney Studios on Hyperion Avenue as a layout trainee in March 1939, and within a few months transferred to the background department. It was here over the next several years that Al contributed his art to the creation of the Disney animated features Fantasia, Dumbo, Saludos Amigos, Victory Through Air Power, The Three Caballeros, Make Mine Music, and Song of the South. Al left the studio in 1945, but by 1952 had returned to work on Peter Pan. He continued to bring his artistry to the features Lady and the Tramp, Sleeping Beauty, 101 Dalmatians, The Sword and the Stone, The Jungle Book, The Aristocats, and Robin Hood, as well as all the Winnie the Pooh featurettes. Al left perhaps an even more intimate and enduring legacy in his work on the design and illustration of more than a dozen Disney Golden Books. Always concerned with controlling the quality of Disney art, Walt Disney would often assign the illustration of books to studio staff between their other projects. Illustration work by the likes of Disney legends Mary Blair, Bill Justice, and John Hench is immortalized in many perennially published Disney storybooks. Walt insisted that some of the studio artists get involved in these book illustrations, and he particularly enjoyed seeing the various interpretive approaches that these artists would take. In the spirit of every new assignment that Walt gave, he told them to approach storybook illustration in a way that only the Walt Disney Studios would approach it. Al Dempster's illustrations for Santa's Toy Shop, Walt Disney's Mother Goose, and Walt Disney's Uncle Remus stories are especially fondly remembered, as are his pictures for the Golden Book editions of The Three Little Pigs, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Pinocchio, and Alice in Wonderland. His painting for the cover of the Alice in Wonderland Little Golden Book is considered by many to be the Mona Lisa of Disney's storybook illustration. Al was the father of 5 and grandfather of 14. He retired to Los Osos, California in July of 1973, where he passed away on June 28, 2001, at the age of 89. Today in Disney history, in 2013, one of the original Pleasure Island clubs is torn down as the Disney Springs project moves forward. Crews demolished the Comedy Warehouse building as part of plans to transform the mostly defunct Pleasure Island and the rest of the downtown Disney area into a new complex called Disney Springs, which would feature new shops, dining, and entertainment. Pleasure Island opened in 1989 with several clubs, including Comedy Warehouse. The 290-seat venue, where the tin roof rattled with laughter, was home to both headlining comedians and the Comedy Warehouse Players, who performed improvisational comedy shows nightly. Also today in Disney history, in 1928, Disney's Oswald the Lucky Rabbit cartoon Sleigh Bells is released. The short was missing until late 2015, when a surviving print was rediscovered and restored by the Walt Disney Animation Studios. In celebration, the short was screened for the first time since its release on December 12, 2015.